Have you ever quietly wondered, why does sexual performance seem to just fall off a cliff as you get older? I mean, really, have you ever stopped and asked yourself what happened? One day, you're waking up with energy, with desire, with life. And the next, it's like a part of you just slowly started packing up and leaving the room without saying goodbye. No warning, no explanation, just gone. And the thing is, nobody really talks about it. Not your buddies, not your doctor, not unless you bring it up first, right? But deep down, you feel it. You know something's changing. You don't feel like you anymore. Maybe you're not as firm in the mornings. Maybe the desire's faded. Or maybe things just aren't working like they used to, and you're wondering if that's just how it goes now. But let me ask you something that's going to sit with you for a minute. What if this isn't just getting old? What if something inside your body has been quietly sabotaging your manhood for years? What if there was a way to fight back? Because I'll tell you something straight from my experience. As a penis surgeon, I've seen this story play out more times than I can count. And it's never just about sex. It's about your dignity, your identity, your confidence, your connection, not just to your partner, but to yourself. This stuff cuts deeper than most people want to admit. And too many good men like you, are sitting in silence, thinking it's too late, thinking they're broken, thinking the best years are already behind them. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be this way. In today's video, I'm going to show you a simple food. Yep, a food that's backed by real science, clinical evidence, and something even more powerful than that, hope. This one change could help restore blood flow, firmness, and vitality, naturally. No gimmicks, no peas, no sham. But more importantly, I'm going to walk you through why most older men, without realizing it, are making daily mistakes that are slowly draining their strength, their drive, and their intimacy. This might be the first time anyone's told you the truth in a way that actually makes sense. So don't go anywhere. Stick around to the end. What you're going to hear just might surprise you, and it might just change everything. And hey, if you believe healthy intimacy is possible at any age, drop a comment right now. I still got it, because you do. And if you're ready to age with power, not fear, hit that subscribe button. This is Elderly Care, and we're just getting started. Let's start with the first clue. One of the earliest, quietest, and most overlooked signs that something's shifting in your body, and not in a good way. It's morning wood. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. See, for most of your life, you probably didn't even notice it. You'd wake up, and it was just there. Automatic, predictable, nothing you gave much thought to. But now it's gone. Or at least, it shows up a lot less. Maybe once in a blue moon. Maybe not at all. And you tell yourself, I'm older now. That's just what happens. But here's the thing. That's not entirely true. One of my patients, Bob, 72 years old, came into my office for something completely unrelated. He joked about not having had a morning erection in over 3 years. Laughed it off like it was just another part of being over the hill. But when we dug deeper, we found something else. Early-stage cardiovascular disease. Arteries that were stiffening. Blood flow that was slowing. A warning sign from his body, and he nearly missed it. Because morning wood isn't random. It's a physiological process. It's your body running a systems check every night while you sleep, sending blood down there, making sure everything still works. It's tied to your blood pressure, your oxygen levels, your testosterone, and most importantly, your nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. It's what gives you those strong, spontaneous, rock-solid erections. But as you get older, your nitric oxide production drops. And if your lifestyle's been rough on your arteries, smoking, processed food, stress, lack of movement, those vessels stop listening. They stop opening up. And that morning signal, it fades. Now here's where most guys get it wrong. They assume it's just age. They don't realize this is one of the first vascular warning signs your body gives you. Before your heart gives out. Before your blood pressure spikes. Before you end up in an emergency room. This one change, quiet and easy to ignore, is your early warning system. It's your check engine light. And ignoring it can cost you more than just your sex life. So what can you do? First, start paying attention. No one's asking you to chart it on a spreadsheet. Just be aware. Once a week? Once a month? Not all. Track in your head. You don't need a doctor to notice a pattern. Second, start feeding your body the right tools. You need more L-citrulline, an amino acid your body converts into L-arginine, which then boosts nitric oxide production. And one of the best, most natural sources? Watermelon. Yes, watermelon. I'll break down how it works and how to use it later in this video. But for now, just remember, this isn't about gimmicks or natural Viagra clickbait. This is about nourishing your blood flow at the source. Now, morning wood disappearing is just one clue. There's another one that's even more subtle. One most men would never think is connected to their bedroom performance. But it is. And if you're dealing with it, I want you to listen closely because your body might be trying to tell you something important. And it's time to start listening. Let's talk about another sign. This one's easy to shrug off, but it's just as revealing. Cold hands, cold feet. Now I know what you're thinking. It's winter, or my circulation's always been a little off, or I just got bad circulation. But let me tell you about Stan. Stan was 68 when he first walked into my office. His main complaint? He was always cold, especially his fingers and toes. Even in the middle of summer, he wore socks to bed. He'd avoid shaking hands because his fingers felt like ice. Now at first, that doesn't scream penis problem, right? But here's what we found. The same vascular restriction that was tightening up the tiny arteries in his fingers was also constricting the arteries down below, in the pelvic region, in the penis. You see, blood doesn't lie. If your blood can't flow freely to your extremities, your toes, your fingertips, it sure as hell isn't flowing freely to your most sensitive internal tissues either. Poor peripheral circulation is one of the strongest, earliest signs of systemic vascular resistance. That means your blood vessels aren't relaxing like they used to. They're stiffening, hardening, and that affects everything. Most guys don't connect the dots. They chalk it up to age, to the weather, to just needing more layers. But your body isn't cold because of the air. It's cold because your arterial flexibility is declining. And when arteries lose their ability to open up and deliver warm, oxygen-rich blood, your hands suffer, your feet suffer, and yes, your penis suffers. This isn't about comfort. It's about your inner plumbing system. And if you ignore this, you're not just risking your sex life. You're setting the stage for deeper vascular disease. High blood pressure, heart strain, erectile dysfunction that doesn't respond to pills. So what can you do? Start by feeding your arteries what they need to function. You want natural vasodilators, foods that help those blood vessels soften, expand, and carry nutrients the way they're supposed to. Things like beets, rich in nitrates that convert to nitric oxide, pomegranate juice, loaded with antioxidants that protect and repair the endothelial lining, and leafy greens, spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, that keep your vascular system flexible and responsive. You don't need a prescription for this. You just need consistency. Add these into your diet regularly. Don't wait until things get worse. And pay attention to the small signs. Cold feet today could be a whisper of something bigger tomorrow. Now, if you thought cold hands were a strange clue, wait until you hear what's next. Because the next sign is one that too many men dismiss as just getting tired or being out of shape. But in reality, it's your heart and your manhood trying to speak to you at the same time. And if you've ever found yourself struggling to catch your breath from something that used to be easy, stick with me. You need to hear what's coming next. Now, this next one, this one hits close. Because by the time it shows up, your body's not whispering anymore. It's speaking loud and clear. Chest pain, or maybe not even pain, just a tightness. That slow, creeping shortness of breath when you climb the stairs. The kind that makes you pause halfway up and say to yourself, I never used to feel like this. John was a patient of mine, 74, sharp, independent, proud. Used to walk to the store every morning. Never missed a day. Until one week he stopped. He said, "Doc, I'm getting winded halfway up my porch steps. It doesn't make sense. I haven't gained weight, haven't changed anything. I just don't have the breath I used to." And when we looked into it, we found the real story. It wasn't just his lungs. It wasn't laziness. It was his arteries. In his chest, yes, but also in his groin. The exact same narrowing, the exact same blockage, the exact same restriction. Because here's the truth. Most men don't realize this until it's too late. The arteries that supply the penis are the smallest in the body, just 1/10 the size of the coronary arteries around your heart. So when plaque starts to build up, when those vessels begin to narrow, the penis is usually the first place to feel it. long before your heart gives out, long before you collapse on a treadmill or need a stent. That slow, creeping loss of endurance, that's not just age. That's not just getting out of shape. That's your body waving a red flag and hoping you'll stop pretending everything's fine. And here's the real kicker. Most men, they think as long as they can lift a heavy bag of mulch or carry groceries to the car, they're still strong, still healthy. But strength isn't the measure here. Endurance is. Recovery is. How fast you bounce back. How far you can go without stopping. How deeply you can breathe without forcing it. Because that's where cardiovascular health shows up. Not in what you can lift, but in how you live. So what can you do? You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a personal trainer. You just need to walk. Every day. 15, 20, 30 minutes. Whatever you can manage, build from there. And on your plate, you want omega-3s. Fatty acids found in fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines. These help reduce inflammation, keep your arteries smooth, and improve your vascular response. When you move your body and feed it right, it doesn't just reward you with more energy. It restores flow. It sharpens your mind. And yes, it improves performance in every area of your life, including the bedroom. So don't wait for the stairs to knock the wind out of you. Don't wait for that pressure in your chest to become a hospital visit. Start now. Listen to your breath. Pay attention to your energy. Feel your legs beneath you again, because every heartbeat you strengthen today is a gift you give yourself tomorrow. Now, what about your testosterone? That word gets thrown around a lot. And the moment a man feels low, tired, or off his game, someone's quick to say, it must be your T levels. But here's where most men go wrong. And it's not just costing them money. It's costing them their health. Let's talk about it. Now this one creeps in softly. You don't notice it at first. It's not like waking up one morning and forgetting your name. It's more like this slow fog, rolling in over your mind, one layer at a time. You walk into a room and forget why. You lose track of conversations halfway through. You sit in silence when you used to lead the talk, and you start to feel this disinterest in things that used to excite you. That's what Dave told me. He was 70, came in because, sure, his libido was down, but that wasn't what scared him most. What scared him was how he couldn't focus anymore, couldn't follow a book, didn't care about projects that used to light him up. He said, "Doc, I feel like I'm still here, but I'm not all here." You know what I mean? And I did, because what Dave was describing wasn't just about sex. It was about testosterone and how it affects every single part of a man's life. Most people think testosterone is all about muscles and erections. But let me tell you what it really does. It keeps your mind sharp. It fuels your motivation. It keeps your mood stable, your emotions balanced, your inner fire burning. Low testosterone doesn't just flatten your libido. It dulls your edge. It makes everything feel heavy, like walking through mud. It steals your initiative, your joy, your ability to show up as you. But here's where so many men go wrong. They hear the word low T and they run straight for the supplements. Gels, patches, injections, thinking it'll flip the switch and bring them back to life. But they skip the real root causes. See, testosterone doesn't exist in a vacuum. Your body needs the right nutrients to make it. It needs low inflammation to maintain it. And it needs balanced blood sugar to keep it stable. And when those systems are off, you can pump testosterone in all day long. But it won't stick. It won't make you feel like yourself again. So what's the smarter move? Start simple. Start clean. Get more zinc. That's your testosterone building block. One of the best sources? Pumpkin seeds. A small handful a day can start moving the dial. And cut back on sugar. It might taste sweet, but it crushes your hormones. It inflames your body. It confuses your insulin. And it leaves your testosterone gasping for air. Little changes. Consistent habits. That's how you rebuild your foundation, not just patch the surface. And when that fog starts to lift, when your drive returns, when you feel clear again, that's when you know you're healing from the inside out. Now, I promised you something. A food. Simple. Powerful. Overlooked. Something most men walk past at the grocery store without knowing what it really holds. But I've seen what it can do. I've watched men recover their energy, their flow, their confidence, just by bringing this one thing into their daily life. So let me show you what it is. And more importantly, why it works. Because this might change everything. Let me tell you about one of my favorite stories. This man, let's call him Richard, came to see me after years of struggling. Not just in the bedroom, though that was part of it. He felt slow, flat, disconnected from his body. He had tried pills. Some worked for a while, some didn't, and all of them left him feeling like he was borrowing energy from a system that was already worn out. He asked me straight, "Is there anything I can do that won't mess with my heart or make me feel even worse after?" And I told him something so simple, he laughed. I said, "Try watermelon." Now don't get me wrong, he didn't jump up and high-five me. He looked at me like I had just offered him a kid's snack to fix a grown man's problem. But here's the thing. This wasn't about the fruit. It was about what's inside it. Watermelon is packed with something called L-citrulline. And when your body digests that, it turns it into L-arginine, a precursor to nitric oxide. Now that name might sound familiar, because nitric oxide is the same compound that those little blue pills, yes, those pills are designed to mimic. Nitric oxide tells your blood vessels to open up, to soften, to expand. It relaxes the smooth muscles inside your arteries. It allows blood to move with ease, even to the most delicate tissues, like those that fill and firm the penis. So when Richard started drinking watermelon juice every morning, just a simple blend of fresh watermelon with a squeeze of lemon, nothing fancy, things began to change. Not overnight, but within 2 weeks, his body started responding. His morning erections returned. His stamina improved. Even his mood lifted. And he didn't feel like he was cheating the system. He felt like he was feeding it. Because that's what this is. It's not a hack. It's not a gimmick. It's nature working the way it was designed to work, when you give it what it needs. But here's the catch. Most men think this kind of change only comes in a bottle or a prescription pad. They skip past the watermelon in the produce aisle and head straight for the pharmacy. And they miss the power that food can hold. Real food, whole food, functional food that heals and restores. If you try this, if you commit to it daily, fresh, on an empty stomach, you're not just chasing performance. You're waking up your vascular system. You're rebuilding blood flow from the inside. You're making a choice not just to feel better in one moment, but to live better in every moment that follows. And remember, this isn't just about erections. This is about strength, vitality, clarity, feeling like yourself again, feeling alive, because that's what's really on the line here. Not just how firm, but how fully you live. Now we've covered the signs. We've talked about what to watch for and what to do. But before we wrap up, I want to speak to something deeper. Something that lives underneath all of this. And that's the emotional weight, the fear, the silence, the loss that so many men carry as their bodies begin to change. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what this really feels like and how you can start shifting out of fear and into something better. Let's be honest for a second. It's hard to talk about this stuff. Sexual decline, loss of drive, that slow erosion of something you once took for granted, something you never thought you'd have to grieve. Especially as you get older, it's easy to pretend it's just life. You tell yourself it's normal. You brush it off with jokes. You avoid the mirror, avoid the conversation, avoid the feeling that something's slipping through your fingers. But here's the truth. When you ignore what's changing in your body, when you push it down, bury it, pretend it's not there, you don't just lose performance. You lose a piece of joy. You lose connection. You lose that spark that makes you feel like a man. That fire that's not about ego or proving something, but about knowing who you are and being able to show up in the world with confidence, presence, and power. And I want you to hear me on this. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not past your prime. You've just been misled. You've been surrounded by noise, quick fixes, empty promises, and a culture that tells older men to either man up or quiet down. But you're here now. You've listened. You've learned. You've seen the signs. And that makes you powerful. Because knowledge, real knowledge, not myths, not shame, is the key to getting it back. So here's what I want you to do. Don't wait. If you've felt weaker lately, slower to respond, if you've noticed distance where there used to be closeness, silence where there used to be heat, don't wait for it to get worse. Start with one thing. Add the watermelon. Take the walk. Cut the sugar. Watch how your body responds when you start listening to it instead of fighting it. Because you're still capable. Capable of strength. Capable of intimacy. Capable of pleasure, connection, passion. That part of you, It's not gone. It's waiting. It's quiet. But it's there. And it can come back. Not because you're chasing who you were at 25, but because you're ready to live fully. Right here, right now, at whatever age you are. You still got time. You still got options. You still got you. And I promise you, when you reclaim that part of yourself, when you stop believing the lie that it's too late, you don't just improve performance. You change how you carry yourself. You change how you show up in the world. You remember who you are. And that's where the healing begins. So let's bring it all together. We've walked through 5 powerful signs. 5 quiet warnings your body gives you long before a major issue shows up. The first, the loss of morning wood. That early indicator that your blood flow, your nitric oxide, your vascular health, something's slowing down. Then the cold hands and feet. Not just about feeling chilly, but about circulation. If the blood's not reaching your toes, it's not reaching the places that matter for performance either. Next, that creeping shortness of breath during small tasks. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, walking a few blocks. That's not weakness. It's a cardiovascular story being written beneath the surface. Then we talked about brain fog, low drive, that feeling like your spark's gone dim. Not just a mental thing, it's often hormonal. It's often tied to inflammation, nutrition, and the slow drip of neglect most men don't even know they're making. And finally, ignoring the food that could change everything. Something as simple as fresh watermelon, rich in L-citrulline, powerful in its ability to restore blood flow and wake up the body from the inside out. These aren't small things. They're the foundation of your health, your identity, your ability to live fully. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these signs? In yourself? In someone you care about? Have you ever felt that quiet fear that something's fading and didn't know who to talk to? Tell me. Drop a comment below. Let's normalize this conversation. Let's speak honestly, like men who aren't ashamed to take care of themselves. Like sons and brothers and husbands and fathers who still want to feel connected, strong, and alive. And if this video helped you see your health in a new way, if something clicked, even just a little, then I'd invite you to subscribe to Elderly Care. Not because we got all the answers, but because here, we're not afraid to ask the real questions. We talk truth. We talk dignity. We talk healing one step at a time. So stay with us. There's more to come. Take care of your body. Protect your joy. Don't give up on the parts of you that still want to feel, move, love, and live. I'm glad you're here, and I'll see you in the next video. Stronger than ever.